Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Hexxit, but this one's going to be a little bit different than the regular. This is going to be the Q&A Hexxit that we've been talking about for the last few days and saying that's going to happen. Well, it's finally here, yes. So I asked you guys to give me loads of questions that you wanted to cover over this episode, and I've had a massive response. We've had over 230 comments on the different episodes, and that includes the Twitter ones as well, so we've had a lot of stuff coming in, absolutely tons. Now in the background is just some Hexxit footage that I pre-recorded, and I'm just going to be talking over it. I decided to do this purely because I think it deserves my full attention for all the questions for me to give out some very good answers. So we've done it that way. We're going to be working on the Chocobo Hotel in the background, so feel free to watch that, or just put your phone on the side, or leave your speakers on or whatnot and just listen. It's completely your choice. So the first thing I've decided to go over is a little bit about myself, and just talk about kind of me in general, and I think that's going to cover a lot of the questions in one foul swoop. So my name is Lewis Simmons. I am 23. I was born in a place called Torquay down in the southwest of the UK, and I currently live just south of London, kind of near Brighton. I live around about that area, Kent and Sussex area at the minute. So I moved up there purely because there was family and stuff. So that is why I don't really have a London accent or anything like that, even though I say I live around that area. I'm actually more of a Devon dumpling than anything else. I have 0 girlfriends at the minute, and I am not gay. I had so many people asking me that question. I'm not. No, I am very much a woman's man, but I don't have a girlfriend at the minute, purely because it is I'd rather wait to find someone that I'm massively interested in than kind of jump between girls and stuff like that. I'm not really that type of person, and with the work that I do, I'm a very, very busy person, whether that comes YouTube. I do a lot of music stuff, I do a lot of editing that is not YouTube related. All that sort of stuff takes up a long time, and it gives me a very weird working pattern as far as hours go. So I am generally up till like 3-4 in the morning getting stuff prepared for you guys for the next day, and it takes up a long time, and it's very hard to fit a relationship around those type of hours. So that is pretty much that. Now let's move on to a few other things and bobs. Now, some of the questions I got asked multiple times, so I'm going to go over a couple of things that, like I say, are probably going to round a lot of them off in one foul swoop. So why did I start YouTube? Well, I started YouTube a long time back, a couple of years ago, and I had an old channel called Monster Tag. And with that channel, it wasn't a gaming channel in the slightest. When we started it, it was done with me and a friend. We decided to start it up for the sole reason that we wanted to give technical reviews on electrical products. That was pretty much it. And I remember the first video I ever did was on a HP touchpad, and I did this in I did it in my bathroom. Put down a white towel, because I see a lot of reviewers using white towels to make the area look nice and clean, and that way you can get a very easy visible view of the product that you're talking about. And I did it that way in my toilet. Yeah, I had a really bad Sony camera that didn't even have a microphone. I didn't have a mic, I just talked directly into the camera. It was horrible. So if you want to see that, go onto the Monster Tech channel. There should be a link. I'll put a link for it in the description. It's horrible because it's so bad, but go on there and check it out if you really want to. That'll be the first video I ever did. Now, I moved on to video games on that channel after about a few months of doing it. I remember the first thing I ever did was I started a Let's Play of Limbo. If you don't know what that game is, it's a fairly old indie game, a side scroller in which you walk around. It's all kind of black and white. It's got a very weird art theme to it, and it's quite an eerie game in which you have to make your way out of a kind of dream state, and there's big spiders and horrible tribal people and stuff like that. But it was a fun game. I did a few episodes of that, and then kind of stopped it, realised it wasn't really my thing. After that, it gave me a good idea of how to produce videos. I used to use Windows Movie Maker back then, so the production value was very lax, and I remember using a headset with this little mic that came around that was absolutely terrible, nothing like I use at the minute. It's definitely, the quality has improved since then, and you'll be able to tell if you go check it out, but it gave me the baby steps I needed to start understanding how to make the content that I wanted to create. When it came to Minecraft, that was around about halfway through that channel's lifetime. I started doing Minecraft, I started doing Tekkit videos, because I used to own Minecraft a long time ago, actually. A long time before that I had that, and I never really got into it. The vanilla style of Minecraft has never really been my thing. I found it boring when I first started playing. I would play for like a few days, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I put it down, didn't play it for about 6 months, and then found Tekkit, and I was like, wow, this is really cool stuff. I'm really into my Tekken thing, so I really found that interesting in building all the reactors and things, so I decided to start a series on that called Tekkit with Lewis, and that actually carried over to this channel as well. I think some of the first episodes I did on this channel were Tekkit with Lewis episodes, and that was a long series. That's probably the longest series I've ever done, and probably one of my most fun series as well. Yeah, we had it was me, it was Sausage, my little companion, and we used to get up to all sorts of mumbo jumbo and gizmos and blowing stuff up. It was a good time. It was definitely a good time. So that's pretty much how I started YouTube and got into what I do. So let's move on to some user questions. If I don't pick your questions, it's purely because I could only pick so many. There was absolutely tons that were put through, so I could only pick a handful. We will do another Q&A session though in the following months, and hopefully we'll be able to pick some of the rest of your guys' questions from that. So the first one is from LoveWiki13. I believe this is a Twitter question, I believe. Do I have any bigger YouTube plans at the minute? At the minute, no, not really. I just enjoy what I do. I like putting out videos for you guys. I like hearing what you talk about and stuff. If you don't believe it or not, I actually read pretty much most of the comments that go onto the YouTube channels. It's not a big channel, so I don't get hundreds and hundreds, so it's not very difficult for me just to kind of skim through them now and then and check out what you guys are talking about. Some of it's pretty funny, actually. I quite enjoy looking at it sometimes. But as far as bigger YouTube plans, I don't really have any. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I enjoy doing it. I strive myself to make it more professional, so my quality of videos, sound quality, I'm always trying to make that better for you guys. As far as the actual media content goes, I try to put a lot more planning into videos, a lot more kind of post-production stuff, a lot more pre-production stuff, all those type of things make the videos a little bit more kind of professional, and they make it a bit more entertaining for you guys, I think, than just loading a game up and playing it. Let's playing has never really been my style of thing. I like to add a story to what I do. So you know, with the whole Hexxit series, I've tried to put in the whole kind of leader of Hexxit and all those type of things. I think it just adds an element to the game that makes it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more engaging. And I did that with the Tekkit series as well. We had Sausage, we was kind of the mad scientist type thing. It worked well, and I think it made it more engaging for you guys and a little bit more fun to watch than just the kind of general bloke talking about mods. I think that can get a bit boring. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is what inspired me and all those type of things, and those are my plans for YouTube. Just keep doing what I'm doing and try and work on increasing the quality. That's the main thing for me at the minute. Who inspired me to start YouTube was one of the questions that I got. No one really. I did it because I thought it'd be fun. I never really had any idea how to create videos. It's something I wanted to get into, so I just pushed myself as hard as I could to try and make some type of content and put it on a channel. That was pretty much it. There was no inspiration from anyone else. I actually really don't watch that many other people's videos. I used to use YouTube just for listening to music, pretty much. And the only people that I actually watch are really, I used to watch a lot of DayZ stuff, so Devil Dog Gamer, Psy Syndicate, those type of guys. I used to watch a lot of their stuff. I still watch a lot of their stuff, and that's pretty much it. I've got a big rule behind me that I don't like to watch videos on content that I'm currently going over, so you won't ever catch me watching any Hexxit videos, because I tend to think that if you watch a lot of one person's videos, then even though you don't mean to do it, you'll kind of copy them in a way that it's more inspirational. So you'll see them as an inspiration and you'll want to be like that person, and then you just end up being that person pretty much, but you're never going to be as good as that person because you're not that person. So, and I don't want to do that, so I try and stay clear from watching people's videos and such. I see a lot of people, a good example is I see a lot of people watching stuff by the Minecraft people, and all the videos I seem to watch at the minute, if I ever do watch one, just seem to be reincarnations of their videos, and they try and talk like them and act like them and things like that, and they're really good guys, and they enjoy the stuff they do. It's definitely very good content that they put out, and because of that, a lot of people get inspired by it, and it's not good to try and copy someone. It's good to understand how people do stuff and learn from how they make videos and how they entertain people, but you don't want to fall into the trap of trying to be like that person, because then you're never really going to be your own person, and your content is always going to be pretty much second best, which is definitely a trap I don't want to fall into. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get another one. Software and editing, what do I use? So when I first started, I used to use Windows Movie Maker, which was absolutely rubbish, but I will tell anyone who wants to start making YouTube content and doesn't understand any of the kind of higher level software editing programs, just use Windows Movie Maker if you use a Windows device. If not, I know the Apple computers have some of their own ones as well that are built in that you don't have to pay for. You can use some of those as well. And yeah, it gives you a good idea of how to make videos, how to add music, how to crop videos, how to split videos, all that sort of stuff, fade in, fade out, all the little things that you need to know to kind of get yourself going. Once I did that, I moved then onto Sony Vegas, and I've pretty much stuck with that ever since. I really don't understand it 100% yet. Sony Vegas is such an intense program, and it can do so much that there are loads of things that you can do with that, and I really probably know about 20% of it. But the thing that I love about it is learning different ways to do things, learning all the little programs, all the little ins and outs of it. I find that stuff mega interesting. And you'll notice throughout the course of my videos, my editing has hopefully got better. It's hopefully improved and got to a kind of newer level, which is something I'm always trying to push to do. It's something I actually personally find quite interesting, and I like to do that even not in the videos. I'll always just sit down. It's another thing that I watch on YouTube, is like editing videos and how to do stuff in Vegas and all that. I really find that stuff quite interesting. It's kind of a pastime for me, so I use Sony Vegas a lot for all my videos, and I can't really see myself moving away from any of those types of from that program at all, really. As far as music programs go, I use Audacity for some things. At the minute I'm using Audacity to pre-record this. Whenever we do videos, I never pre-record vocals or anything like that. I think that completely destroys the idea of it, and it just takes away the kind of originality of what you're talking about. If you're doing like a kind of game review or something like that, then it's understandable to do that, but first impressions and things, I'd probably say it's best to actually talk while you're playing it. And for all my series, I've always done it that way. Whether that's down to laziness, possibly, but I think it allows you guys to be more engaged with me, and it gives a better sense when we're playing the game of exactly kind of how I'm feeling and how I'm kind of enjoying the game while we play it. So yeah, Audacity for any type of vocals, but very rarely. As far as music goes, I use music from other people's channels. The two guys I always use are Kevin MacLeod, who pretty much many people know. So if you're into YouTube videos, you probably, or if you make your own, you probably know Incompetech and all that. You probably know that guy. He does tons and tons of stuff. Loads of big YouTubers use his music. I've used it since I started doing my Tech It series a long time ago. Some of the music I use on that I still use now. So I've used his stuff for a long time. The other guy that I use music from is a YouTube channel. He does some really good stuff. He's in the description section of my video, and he makes some great stuff, so definitely go and check his music out. And for you guys that always ask me, I get asked all the time, what is the song name of the intro and outro of my channel? Well, it's done by the guy in the description, down in the description bar, and the song is called Jamming It Out on the Pavement. Yeah, it's by Technoax, so his channel name is Technoax. If you go on there and have a look, he does tons of stuff. He gives quality stuff, and he really pushes people to use his content, and he enjoys making it. I can tell from the stuff he puts out that he really enjoys what he makes. He doesn't get any payments from people using his videos, but it's all kind of publicizing and advertising, and it works really well doing it that way. It's the same that Incompetech does it, and it gives us guys a really good basis of a source of music for using for our videos, because that can be one thing that is kind of hard to find. And it's nice that people go out of their way and do that stuff for us and for themselves. I'm sure they enjoy using it. I'm sure they enjoy making the music as well, otherwise they wouldn't do it. So yeah, but it's Jamming Out on the Pavement is the name of the song I use for the intro and outro. So if you want to go and check it out, go on there and check it out. It's a good thing. So next up, let's have a look at something else. So Kyan Clark 12 asked, when you started YouTube, was it hard? Not really. I didn't intend on going anywhere with YouTube. I just did it for fun. That was the main thing. It was me and someone else, and we wanted to just give it a try and see what came of it. So when we started, I found it more fun than anything else, not hard, because I was learning how to use the editing programs, the software, and as you know, I find that stuff quite kind of informative, and it's intriguing to me to learn that sort of stuff. So I found it more fun than anything else. So yeah, no, I didn't really find it that hard, to be honest. It was more fun for me. Let's have a look. Crime on Wings. What was your first video game? My first video game a long time ago was Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. That was the first game I ever played. At least I think it's the first game I ever played. It's very hard to tell, really, because my stepmom used to work for Electronics Boutique, which is now owned by Game. So if you live in the UK, you're going to know the shop's Game. I don't know whether they do stuff in the States or anywhere else, but Game is pretty much the biggest games retailer in the UK. And they used to be called Electronics Boutique. Now, my stepmom used to work for Electronics Boutique. She was a manager, and she used to go around to all the conventions and do a lot of games advertisement and stuff around there for EB. And because of that, she used to get tons of pre-release stuff. So she used to get pre-release consoles, pre-release games. They used to come in like a jewel case with no background art or anything. It was just a black CD with the name of the game on it. And I used to get pretty much every game, and I used to sit down every weekend and just play through the things. Every time I get there, she'd have like a stack of 10 new games, and I'd just mess around with them and stuff. So I used to play a lot of stuff when I was younger, absolutely tons. I remember getting it when I got my first Sega Saturn. That's brilliant, such a good games console. Like that games console was so far ahead of its time, but unfortunately it just wasn't taken that seriously. We had the Dreamcast. Like, there were tons of things that we used to play, and she used to go to E3 and things and get all the consoles from there. That's really what got me into games in a big way, because I had so much easy access to games, and as I've grown up, it's kind of just stuck with me. So yeah, there you go. Doodah asked, who's your favourite YouTuber? Well, it's Doodah. Of course it's Doodah. He is my favourite YouTuber of all time, and if I didn't say that, then I'd probably get a million Skype messages having a go at me, so I feel I have to say that, so there you go. My favourite YouTuber is Doodah. Alright, Kurt Kirbis asked, why do you want a baby sloth? A long time ago on Twitter, I asked if I wanted to buy me a baby sloth. The main reason I want a baby sloth is because it's a baby sloth. Jesus, guys. Think about it. Think what you could do with a baby sloth. The things you could do. You could hang it like in between your door, so every time you walk in, you could just like stroke its belly or something, and it would just look at you, and it would never judge you, because sloths are so lazy, they probably don't even know how to judge something. They'd be the best pet. You wouldn't really have to clean them much, because they come down the same tree once every week and do a little poo, and then they climb back up. The only thing you have to worry about is falling asleep and falling out the tree because they fell asleep. They're the best pets, the easiest pets. So if I could ever have a pet, it'd be a baby sloth. You want to buy me something? Buy me a baby sloth. That is exactly what I want. Next thing from Uninvited Family, I believe it is. How did you meet your friends like Doodah and Nemson? So, I used to do a series on this channel called Feed the Beast of 20, and halfway through doing that series, I got a YouTube message, a private email from Nemson asking me if I wanted to join the Utopia server. Now, I used to get a lot of these messages back then, and to be honest, I never really took them seriously, because a lot of them were more of an advertisement for their channels than it was for mine. Excuse me. And I don't like the idea of being used for my channel. It's not really something I enjoy doing. I think people should make their own channels, they should learn their own mistakes, they should work on their channels, and that's how you improve your channel and become, I wouldn't say more popular, but you become more recognizable, which is definitely something that I personally work for, and I think everyone else should do, instead of trying to seek outside help or try and kind of sponge off other people, which isn't very fun. But he seemed like a good guy, and the people on there seemed like fun. He sent me a list of all their channels. I checked them out. They all seemed like good YouTubers. They knew what they were doing. They had a good interest in what they were doing. They weren't just doing it because they wanted to make money and all that. They actually enjoyed the games. So I said yes, and I joined the Utopia server. And that's pretty much how I got to meet most of them. Doodah, Nemson, Sento. I did some stuff with Madlands. That's how I got to meet Mime, who's in the Void's Wrath series. And ever since then, I haven't been able to get rid of them. We've kind of just been stuck with them. But they're all good guys, and they're a good laugh, and they're definitely people that I'll stick around with. Whether I do series with them or not, I'm always in contact with them. So it's definitely worth keeping around people like that, because, you know, that's good fun. It makes YouTube more fun when you know a lot of more YouTubers and you can all interact together and stuff. It definitely adds a new element to it, which I never used to have. So I appreciate that muchly. Let's move on. So Tomi Runen asked my favourite food in real life, and I'll tell you my Minecraft one as well, because I thought I'll add that in, because that's quite fun. So my favourite food in real life are roller yogurts. They're the best thing going. I don't know if you have them in America or anywhere else, but in the UK we have roller yogurts. They're like caramelly things with chocolate on the top, and they're the best thing. They're the best thing. I could eat those for days. I would be huge, but I could eat them for days. They're the best thing. In Minecraft, my favourite food is probably a good old baked potato. I love a good baked potato. They're very saturating. They give you the carbohydrates to tackle anything during the day. It's like waking up and having a bowl of Weetabix. They're the best thing you can have. So that is my... I would love to sponsor baked potatoes. There we go. That is that one for you. So Harley Rana asked, what is my next big series? I haven't got one. I really don't know, to be honest. I spend a lot of time doing this series that I run at the minute. I have no intentions to stop any of the series I'm running at the minute, and I really don't have any ideas with new big series that are coming out. If I was to be totally truthful with you guys, the series that I run are generally recommended by you guys. So I was actually recommended to do Hexxit. I had no idea what it was. I checked it out on the Technics website, and they had like the countdown on there. So if anyone knows, before Hexxit came out, they were doing like a countdown, and they were putting clues out on there on kind of what it's going to be like. They were very kind of mystical about it, which was quite cool. And then the day it came out, I got onto it. I thought, yeah, you know, I'll give it a try, and I fell in love with it instantly. Within an hour, I started recording the first episode, and it just went from there. So I generally leave that type of stuff up to recommendations half the time. You guys generally know more than I do, because I spend so much time staying on the same thing that it's very hard for me to keep tabs on everything else. And that's why you guys are there, because you're awesome and you know all your stuff and you know far more than I do, so I just leave that sort of stuff up to you. You're brilliant. Alright, next one. Excalibur Gaming, why don't you play vanilla Minecraft? Alright, so I touched on this earlier. Vanilla Minecraft is really not my thing. When I first got Minecraft, I wasn't really into it. I got into it because of Tekkit, because I love the whole technical side of it. I enjoyed the whole idea of crafting things that work together to make other things and such, and redstone machinery is nothing I ever really got into. It kind of blew my mind away when I first started playing. I didn't even understand it in the slightest, and I've never really got into it because of that. The reason I don't do much vanilla Minecraft now, even though I understand it better and I appreciate the vanilla Minecraft a lot better now, the main reason I don't do it is for the whole fact that if I was to do that, and I was to do it legit, so I didn't cheat, then I would spend pretty much all my time mining and making big buildings and stuff, and it would just take up way too much time. I'd spend a whole night, and instead of being able to put together 3 episodes of something else, I'd have to spend the whole night digging, tunneling, and then working on something for a vanilla series, and it would just take way too long. And that is really the sole reason why I stopped the Madland series as well, is it wasn't really my thing, and it was just taking up way too much time. I'd never be able to work on the other series that I had. I thought at the time when I started I could, but it just ended up that I would have just had to tunnel and dig for so long and get all the required kind of resources that I need. Whereas with like Hexxit and Tekkit and Feed the Beast and things, there are so many resources and so many different mods that even if you don't have the resources, you generally have the resources to make something else from a different mod. So there's always something to cover, something to make the episode a bit more fun, I think, yeah. And it's just better than watching someone mine for 20 minutes. Come on, that's got to be boring, right? Unless they're an extremely entertaining person and they have a very flamboyant attitude, then it's just going to be boring. So it's definitely something I kind of leave to other people. I'll stick with what I know and they can do their thing, which is always a good way of doing it. So, Ruth Amy, if you could invent a monster, what would it be called and look like? I saw this one and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put it in there anyway because it's quite funny. And the main thing is I have absolutely no idea. Like, I used to watch tons of monster movies, absolutely tons. I used to love Predator, I used to love Aliens. I'm a big horror fan when it comes to those sort of things, absolutely massive. And if I had to pick a monster, then it depends whether it can kill me or not. So if it couldn't kill me, then it would probably be something like out of Aliens, like a mix between Aliens and Predator, but not the one they had in the movie because that was rubbish. It would be something like that, I think, because that's like, it's kind of scary, it's really big and strong, and it's the perfect monster, isn't it? It's the perfect thing. Even though people don't find it that scary anymore, like back when they originally brought out Alien, that was the pinnacle of scary, that pretty much was. Now it's kind of a bit more funny because of how it looked and things, but that would be the best one. If I could die, then obviously I'd want something that is still a monster, because monsters need to be able to, like, they don't need to be able to kill stuff, but they need to be all monstrous and don't they, or, you know, have a kind of horrible element to them. I would probably build something like the rabbit out of the Holy Grail. If you've ever watched that, Monty Python's The Holy Grail, I'd probably build the rabbit out of that because it's all fluffy and nice, and then it leaps and takes your neck out, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight. You need to go watch that film if you haven't watched it. It's a brilliant film. Monty Python's film's brilliant. So yeah, that would be that one. It'd either be something like a mix between Aliens and Predator, but not the one from the film because that was rubbish, or a cute little rabbit that can rip your neck out. That would probably be it. But not kill you. Fatally wound you. Yeah, that would do. Hugo Vork, are you going to play Hexxit? Alright, so this is a good question. So I've got these wrote down next to me. So I've added this one in for the sole reason that I think it's quite an important one. So are you going to play Hexxit even if you have all the best stuff and there is no point in playing it? So I thought about this one pretty hard. Yes, I would. Of course I would. The main reason being, Hexxit is not about finding all the best stuff. Mod packs are not about making all the best stuff. They're about, if you want to entertain someone, I believe, to make a good series, you have to add a story element. You have to put your whole self into that story, and that's what makes it entertaining. If you wanted to watch me build everything and find all the first items in Hexxit and take it and whatever I do, feed the beast, I could do that in like 10 episodes. How boring would that be? That would be the most boring episode ever. I think the fun comes from when you've got the stuff, how you use it and how you introduce it to people in a more of a fun manner. So I generally get told that my videos are good for the sole purpose that not only they're kind of entertaining and instructional, but there's a story to them, there's an element to them which makes you want to watch them. And I think I achieved that with that Hexxit series, with this Hexxit series, which is something that I'm very, very proud of. I've never really been able to do that in a video before, but the whole story of being the savior of Hexxit and having the chocobos with me and all that sort of stuff, them helping me out, it's a beautiful thing, and it adds an element to a Let's Play that not many people I've seen have been able to achieve properly. They've tried, but they failed, or it hasn't been that interesting, or they've just fallen back into the trap of being a kind of an info story, kind of explaining everything thing, which I think is nice and works for some people, but I don't think it's the best way of doing things. If you can add an element of yourself into it, it makes it more engaging then for people to watch. So my answer would be no. No, it wouldn't. I wouldn't stop, because even if I have all the best stuff, and I pretty much already do have most of the best stuff, then let's figure out what we can do with it. Let's make it entertaining. Let's show how we can use this in a good manner, and let's add this into the storyline, and let's expand on it a little bit. The chocobos and things. If I wanted to make a gold chocobo, I could have made one this episode. I could have just gone and farmed them and got the bits for it, but I decided I didn't want to do that, because let's save it for another episode. Let's do something about golden chocobos. Let's add a bit of a story element to it. Let's mix it in with something else. Let's make it a bit entertaining for people to watch. We're not covering a wiki section. We're trying to make a video that's fun and watch and engaging, and you know, you learn and you understand, but you enjoy it at the same time, which is something I try and go for, and I think people appreciate that. If you don't appreciate it, then that's fair. There's many other YouTubers out there to go and watch who do Hexxit videos, but that's what I aim for, and I think it works. So yeah, that's exactly that one. I would carry on, because I believe there's so much more Hexxit has to offer than just gathering every item under the sun. There we go. Atezu3 asks, do you like going in the sauna? I thought I just had a weird one in there, why not? I love going in the sauna. What's wrong with going in the sauna? It's the best thing. You get to chill out with all the saunery people, hopefully women. They all come into the sauna, and you sit there and you have that awkward moment where if you don't know them, you don't really know what to say, and you're worried about all the bubbles and things because they're very revealing, and it's a bit awkward, but something happens, and like, I don't know, someone slips over or something, or you just dive in, or someone just appears in the middle, and it's a very kind of it's a very volatile area in which many things can happen, and I enjoy that because I love weird things. I love when weird things happen. Like when stuff out of the ordinary happens, I really enjoy it because it just adds a little spice to life that generally doesn't happen, because life's a pretty boring thing, really. You know, you do the general thing, you do the same thing pretty much every day if you have a day job. It's another reason why I started YouTube, really, because I can do things that I wouldn't be able to normally do. I can create content that is never available to be created in the real world. You know, there's people say that YouTube and video games are a way of getting away from the real world. And they're a way of doing your own storyline, making things up that you'd never be able to normally do. And that's why I love the sauna, because the sauna is a place away from the real world in which you can sit in and weird things happen and weird emotions take place, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but this is just weird. All right, let's get moving on. We've talked about a sauna more than enough. What are your PC specs? So I get asked this all the time. That's why I'm not going to give a name to it, because I get asked all the time this. I'm going to run through it very quickly. I believe that my computer is very much overkill for Minecraft. So if you're looking at building a computer for Minecraft, then there are many forum sections on good computers and good parts to use. So do not take this as a guideline, because you'll be wasting your money otherwise. But I currently use a i7 2700K processor, an Intel processor. I have two GTX 670s, which I have an SLI. I have a 1K PSU. I have a 2TB hard drive, and I have a 250 gig SSD that I kind of plug into the front of my computer. My case is a CM Stormtrooper, and that has kind of a little slot in the front to put your SSDs and stuff, which is quite funky. And that is pretty much it. Peripheral wise, I use a Cyborg gaming mouse. I've got a, which I've got on my bed at the minute, I've got a Razer, what's it called? It's one of the Ultimate Edition ones, Black Widow Ultimate Edition. It was quite expensive, but I got one of those, and because of the mechanical keys, it's perfect if I want to just, like, you know, just spend the night playing a game. It feels lovely to play, but it's so loud that you can hear it in the videos, and so I decided to go back to my Cyborg one, which I've had pretty much ever since I made my computer, and I love it. It's very nice, and it's not too loud. It's loud, but it's not too loud. As far as my mouse goes, I've had multiple mouses. I'm always changing my mouse. At the minute, I'm using a League of Legends, a Razer Naga mouse, because I love League of Legends. I admit I'm a LoL guy. I play it all the time. I'd never make videos on it because I'm rubbish, but I just love playing it, so I got one of those mouses. I have two Samsung 22-inch monitors. No idea what they are, but they're Samsung ones. And as far as my vocals go, I use a Blue Yeti microphone. Yeah. Blue Yeti, lovely. I absolutely love that microphone, by the way. So if you're looking at good mics, then that's one I would recommend, a Blue Yeti. They're really, really good. Really, really good. Headsets and things like that, I have loads of different ones. It really makes no difference for recording. Just put them wherever you like. So yeah, good times. So that's pretty much it about my computer. I'm not going to really go into any more detail about it because, yeah, that's pretty much it. And to be completely honest, I don't really know a huge amount about software and computing stuff to really give any good information on it. I just know the parts that are in my computer. I bought them, I plugged them all in, turned it on, it worked, and good times. And I've never really tinkered with it except to clean it since then. There you go. So Mega Reeks 24, what made me leave Monster Tech? So, and we're almost getting to the end now, I've got a couple more to go through. So I used to have a channel called Monster Tech, if you guys don't know. Like I say, we used to do, beginning I was talking about how we used to do technical reviews and things like that on there. I left it for the sole reason that we used to have a few members that joined. Now, as far as I'm aware, one of the members got their friends to click on all the ads, because I used to do ad revenue placement via Google directly via AdWords, or AdSense, I can't remember which one it is. But they did loads of clicking on there, and I ended up getting my placement on there taken off, and it was I was unable to monetize any of my videos. Now, for anyone that wants to do YouTube content, it's fun doing YouTube content, but it's also nice to get at least something back for the time that you put into it. And I put a lot of time into my videos, which means I lower hours on working patterns and things like that. So it's nice to get something back out of it so that I can at least sustain myself. And, you know, it pays me to go have a drink now and then and things like that. It's always nice. So, and I decided that if my channel is to ever improve and I want to get a partnership, because back then getting a partnership was quite a big thing. Now it's not really a huge thing, but back then it was, because you used to get the banner, it gave you a lot more options for videos, thumbnails and icons and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to get partnered to really improve the kind of how good the channel actually looked, which is a big thing to me. So I decided to start a new one up. I did this one, and before I did this one, I was in talks with TGN. Now, the big decider for it was that TGN wanted to offer me a place in their community, and at the time I had to say no, and I couldn't do it purely because I didn't have the appropriate monetization to be able to join, and that was it. So I made the new channel. As soon as I made the new channel, I contacted back with TGN and said, look guys, I've started a new one up. You recommended I did this. I got a new channel going. I don't have the required things to join the partnership program you guys offer, but you've seen my old channel, I've been in contact with you, and they let me onto the partnership program even though I didn't have all the bits and bobs that were required. So I gotta thank them for that. And to be honest, I'll go out of a whim and I'll say TGN's actually a really good partner, guys. They're really, really good. So if you're looking for a channel to kind of get yourself going, you know, they offer help. They've got forums, they've got active forums for partners, they've got the TGN army to advertise yourselves and whatnot, and anyone can go do that as well. So I don't want to sound like I'm sucking up TGN or anything like that, but they are good guys. So if you're looking at, if you ever ask me who's a good partner, I'll probably say TGN's a good one. They're not the best, but they're good. There's a good start, you know, and they accept many people and they look after their partners and things. So yeah, there you go. Next one. Do I have children? And if so, can I eat them? Tips for new YouTubers. And this is by Piclonian. So no, I don't have children, and if I did, you wouldn't be able to eat them. Firstly, because they're my children, and secondly, they probably wouldn't taste that good because they're from me, so yeah. Now the main one is the tips for new YouTubers, so I could talk about this for absolutely hours, but I'm going to try and keep it sweet and simple. Strive to do your best. YouTube is not about copying people, so try and be your own person. Try and increase your skills as a producer. So look at yourself as a media producer, not a commentator. If your commentating comes second best, but your media producing is the main thing. You want to try and look as good as you can on your channel. You want You want to try and engage with your audience. You want to try and make sure your content is as good as you can make it. Now, when you start, unless you've been doing media presentation, that sort of stuff for a long time, your videos probably aren't going to be as good as you want them to be. It takes a long time to be able to learn how to, it sounds really silly, but it takes a long time to learn how to speak into a microphone properly. It takes a long time to learn how to phrase your words, not stutter too much. I know I stutter now and then. I know that I and ah now and then, but I don't do it now as near as much as I used to. And it's learning how to, you know, take breaths, when to phrase your words, things like that. I suffer sometimes from speaking too fast when I get into a subject, and that's the thing that I work on. So I'm always working on something, and you guys should always be working on something as well. So even if you have just started using something like Windows Movie Maker, something like that, then learn how to use it. Learn all the ins and outs of it. Even if you're not going to put it into a video, learn how to use the ins and outs of it. When you move to Vegas, start watching videos on YouTube on how to use the different elements inside it. That's very important. Like I say, you might not end up using it, but it's nice to know that you can do all of that, and then if you ever need to, you can use it in a video, you can use it to produce something, you can use it to edit something. It's all about making sure that you're always trying to better yourself. Never stagnate your channel by just sitting still on the regular thing that you do. I, at the minute, are trying to get really good into using Photoshop, so I've always been fairly decent at using Photoshop, but I'm trying to increase my skills as an artist at doing that sort of stuff. I recently bought a tablet for drawing stuff, so at the minute I'm learning how to draw animated art and things like that, and I haven't used it in any videos, but I'm hoping to use that for thumbnails soon. So I'm going to draw my own animated art, which would be pretty good. It means that I can really change the style of my channel and make it personal to myself by drawing my own art. At the minute I've relied off other people's work, but I'm gonna start doing that sort of stuff myself, and that's what I'm working towards at the minute. So there's always should be an end goal, so set yourself a goal and stick to that goal, and give yourself a timeline and stick to that timeline and try and do the best thing. Never expect your channel to explode. That is not going to happen. Don't expect other channels to help you. That's not going to happen. Work for yourself and do it because you enjoy doing it. If you don't enjoy doing it, don't do it. So one big thing is, if you've got a series going, and I will always stick by this, if you wake up in the morning or it's in the evening, or you got back from work and you want to make a video, and you sit down and all your subscribers are going, hey, make this video, do this, and you don't want to do it, don't do it. Don't do it, because you're gonna force yourself to make a video you don't want to do. It's going to be half-assed and it's going to be rubbish. And even if you don't think it's rubbish, it's going to be rubbish, because you're going to come across to the people who are going to watch your videos of you being half-assed and not really wanting to do it, and it shows in your commentaries. It shows in your videos. If I have a video, and for instance, Feed the Beast at the minute, so Feed the Beast, I enjoy doing Feed the Beast. I haven't done an episode for a few days. The reason why is because I've been very much into the Chocobo Hotel things. I've been designing artwork and things, so every time I sit down, I think to myself, what do I want to record? And I don't want to record Feed the Beast at the minute. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop the series. It doesn't mean that there isn't going to be an episode coming out tomorrow or the next day. It just means I don't want to do it. So if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it, because I know for a fact it will come out half-assed and it'll just be a rubbish episode. And there's nothing worse than you guys looking forward to an episode coming out and it's rubbish. That's such a disappointment. I'd rather you wait and get an episode come out and it be a really good episode, really engaging. I'm really up for it. You know, it shows in the videos. It's a big thing, really, really big thing. So make sure you enjoy what you're doing. It sounds like a silly thing, and you probably already do. But if you're not enjoying it, then maybe it's just not for you. Maybe YouTube's not for you. Maybe it's not something that you can propel yourself in. It's not something that you're good at. Sometimes you're just not good at it, and you need to understand this. So, and it's very hard to tell someone that what they're doing is not very good, or it's not that it's not good. You can see someone's trying, but some people you can tell that they're just doing it because their mate does it, or they're doing it because they think it's something to do in their spare time, but they're not really into it. And then they ask themselves, why is their channel not growing? Well, the answer is you're not putting your all into it. And if you're not putting your all into it, it's not going to succeed, it's not going to grow. And that's the simple answer for it. So set yourself a goal, stick to that goal. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. If you find that you're getting criticized for your media content, then so what? At least you're trying, at least you're giving it a go. So just keep trying to better yourself as a person and as a presentator, better yourself as a producer, and better yourself as a commentator. And never stagnate yourself by thinking that you've reached a point in which you're happy with, because you should never ever be happy. You realize I didn't put out a 20k sub special. The reason I didn't put that out is because I don't see 20k as a good thing. I do see it as a good thing, but I don't see it as a goal that I've hit. I don't see it as anything amazing. I see it as my channel's getting better, it's improving, I think my content's improving, I think that I personally am getting better at what I do. But that's no reason to have a party, because I've still got a lot more things to do. I've got videos to set out, I've got other things at hand that require my attention for later developments and things. And because of that, 20k to me really is just a number. The subscriber amount I have is just a number. It is nothing special to me. It's all about increasing my personal development and getting better at what I do. And you should be thinking on the same guidelines. Don't look at your channel and go, oh, I've got 200 subscribers. It's picking up a little bit, so maybe I should just do the same thing I'm always doing. I might not enjoy it, but they enjoy it. If you do that, you're just going to end up shooting yourself in the foot. So if you don't enjoy it, try something different. That's all I can say. So work on it and it will get there. But you've got to be in the right mindset to increase your personal development on it. Yeah, I could go on that for a long time. So I'm going to cut that one there and we'll move on to something else because I could keep blabbing for a long time about that. So, why don't I do vlogs? The main reason I don't do vlogs, I don't really like vlogs and things. It's not really my thing. I don't really enjoy it. You know, I enjoy playing the games and commenting on the games, but vlogs and things, like, I know other people love doing them and people like watching them, but it's just really not my thing, and that's really an honest answer for it. Now, the other thing as well is face cams. I have done face cams before. I'm not trying to hide my face in any way, so there are videos out there with face cams. I can't remember which one. I think I did a Dead Space one, and I did like some review things on it. There's pictures on my Twitter of me. I put one up not too long ago. So it's not really like I'm trying to hide it. It's just not really my thing. And it's also, there's a couple of reasons as well. Firstly is I believe it takes up space on the screen, which I don't like. So you realise I got rid of the TGN watermark in the corner. I got rid of that. I got rid of any additional pop-ups on the top. So got rid of those. They may have harmed my channel because less click rates and things like that, but I really don't care. I would rather just have a clean slate on the screen that's more engaging and there's less clutter, because I don't like clutter. I'm a clean freak. I don't like clutter on the screen. So, and I find that having a little camera in the corner with a little dude sitting in it is clutter to me, so I just don't really do that type of thing. The second reason is it's additional rendering time, it's additional preparation time for videos and things, which I don't have. So if I want to keep putting out videos as equally as I normally do at the minute with the time frame that I have, then it's a lot easier for me not to do that. So I just stay away from it. I guess if I ever did streaming and stuff, I could probably do a few like that. I don't know, but it's something maybe we'll experiment with in the future. But at the minute, I have no plans to do anything like that, and there's no real reason behind it. It's just I just really don't, and I think it clutters the screen up and whatnot. So that's pretty much that. So let's finish this off. This will be the last question. We're banging on for a long time. This is like 40 minutes worth. This is ridiculous. Rocky Hughes asked, pancakes or waffles? Now this is the most important question out of all the questions that we've probably had today. Pancakes or waffles, which ones do I prefer? I could probably go on about this longer than the starting YouTube question. Pancakes or waffles? Alright, I got an answer. Pancakes, I think, are a great substitute for breakfast. So when you wake up in the morning, if you don't want to have cereal, or you don't want to have some like eggs on toast or something, you can make some pancakes, which is nice. You know, you have pancake days, so sometimes you'll have them as a dessert, but I find them more as a cereal. Whereas waffles can also be the cereal. I know, I think it's in America, what you have like the waffles you put in the toaster and things like that. I think we have them in the UK, but I've never really seen much of them. But you have those type of things, and me personally, waffles for me are a dessert, so I love having waffles in the evening. When you go to, if you go out for dinner, most places will serve Belgian waffles, and they are amazing. Having Belgian waffles, they're all sweet, and you get like caramel on it, and you get ice cream and stuff, and it melts, and the bubbles, and in your stomach, it all, and you get back home and you fall asleep because you've got waffle fever. Like, it's the best thing ever. Oh, I want waffles now so badly. So I'm going to go with waffles. Waffles are my main thing. You go away, it's a special moment when you have a waffle. Pancakes are special moments as well, but I've had those on a much regular basis, so I'm probably going to say waffles on that one. There we go. Alright guys, so that is that for this Q&A session. If I didn't get to any of your questions, I apologise. We'll be having another one probably in a few months or so, and by that time I'll go back through some of these questions from the old videos as well and try and pick some from there that we missed out as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get through everything eventually, but if I was to go for everyone's, it would take hours. So let's stick with a handful for the time being, and we'll do another one and go through the rest from then that time. I think that's a good way of doing it. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright guys, I'll see you soon for another episode of Hexxit. Have a good one, and goodbye.